everybody. Here we are for Not Simple Meals with Robbie. This is Cyrus. We put the wrong intro at the beginning of this, but that's okay. I just wanted to make sure you guys were paying attention today. Today is Friday. It's always my favorite day of the week, and we're here to have some fun together and to share a lot of powerful information about why Amla berries are some of the most powerful antioxidant rich containing berries on the planet that have a profound impact on your cardiovascular health. We're going to get into a lot of detail about exactly why that's the case. But before we go too deep into this, tell me where you come from and what are you doing this weekend? I'll start. My name is Cyrus. I live in Florida, and this weekend I have a pool party scheduled for Sunday with a bunch of friends, and I have little Indigo baby who just turned 2 years old to get in the pool and act like a little dolphin. And then in addition to that, I'm going to be going to CrossFit tomorrow, and I'm going to be eating an acai bowl. And I know it sounds weird, but one of my favorite things to do on the weekend is literally go to the CrossFit workout on Saturday morning and then go directly and get an acai bowl and just fill myself up with nothing but acai goodness as soon as the workout is over. So that is one of my favorite things in life. And people ask me this question. They're like, what would be your last meal? If you could have one meal, before you die, if you were on death row, my answer is a giant acai bowl, no question. So that's what I'm looking forward to. You guys tell me, what are you looking forward to? What are you going to do over the weekend? That's what I want to know. Okay, looks like we got no comments yet, but cool. Maybe they'll come in real soon. All right. Now, today we're going to be talking, like I said, about heart health. That's what is that's the subject at hand. Now, if we go backwards in time and try and take a look at, what do we know about Amla berries as a scientific community? The research and trying to understand why Amla berries are so powerful from a metabolic perspective started, almost 30 to 40 years ago. And the reason for that was because in the world of Ayurvedic medicine and, mainly coming out of East, from India, as well as other East Asian countries, there's this huge focus on putting Amla berries into your daily life. And they've been talking about it a lot in Ayurveda, as well as just sort of like Eastern philosophy in general, that Amla berries are very good for you. So it doesn't matter if you got bitten by a snake, or if you're vomiting, or if you have indigestion, or if you have diabetes. It doesn't really matter. Just put these berries into your mouth and all of a sudden magical things are going to happen. So as you can see on the screen right here, we wrote a really in-depth article about what is Ayurveda, why is it an important component of the Amla story, and why do they recommend the use of Amla berries in the Ayurvedic philosophy. And then we take it into modern science. So Ayurveda is something that's been around for, thousands of years, and it's a really powerful nutritional philosophy. But in addition to just, let's call it this ancient form of medicine, modern science has taken it upon themselves to be like, you know what? Let's put it to the test, as Dr. Greger would like to say. Is there any validity to this stuff, or is this just a whole bunch of stories? And it turns out that as scientists have tested Amla berries for their metabolic power, tested them to see, are they effective at lowering blood glucose, blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides? Researchers have been stunned, just absolutely stunned by how powerful these berries truly are. When it comes to, we've talked a lot about diabetes, blood sugar, blood glucose. And the truth is that Amla berries are an incredibly powerful blood glucose reducer. It can reduce your fasting blood glucose and your post-meal blood glucose, and a lot of things can start to move in the right direction. But even more powerful than controlling your blood glucose, it can lower your cholesterol. Now, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Let me just read some of these comments that are getting flashed on the screen here. We got Joe. He says, coaching a high school swim meet all day Saturday, not much Sunday. Amazing. I want to come watch this swim meet. That sounds like fun. Marilyn says, farmer's market and pumpkin shopping. Ooh, pumpkins. I guess Halloween's coming up, huh? And then Meg says, natto bowls. Ooh, natto. That is the peanut natto that comes from Japan, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I've ever I tried eating it when I was in Japan back in the day and failed miserably. It wasn't very tasty. But if you like it, by all means, go for it. Okay. All right. So when it comes to heart health, Amla berries, incredibly powerful. Okay. So what researchers have done is they basically put Amla to the test, and they've They've taken individuals who are living with hyperlipidemia, which is high cholesterol values, high total cholesterol and high LDL cholesterol in particular. They take these patients and they randomize them. They put them into one of two groups. Group number one receives Amla on a daily basis. I think it's, I'm trying to remember the dosage. I think it's the equivalent of 4 grams of Amla per day, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other group receives what's called a placebo, meaning no treatment. And then they basically test these individuals over the course of multiple weeks to try and figure out if their lipids are coming down. What happens to their total cholesterol, their LDL cholesterol, and their triglyceride values. And what they found is that treating hyperlipidemia over a very short period of time with Amla berries on a daily basis has a profound impact on lowering cholesterol and specifically LDL cholesterol. And that's important because LDL cholesterol, make no mistake about it, is the single most LDL cholesterol is the most powerful biomarker, the most powerful molecule in your blood that determines your risk for a future cardiac event. The higher your LDL cholesterol goes, the higher your risk for heart disease and the higher your risk for a future heart attack. Okay, that is not something that you want to be dealing with on a daily basis. So if there's anything that you can do to lower your LDL cholesterol, then you're moving in the right direction. Statin medication is the allopathic medicine's way of reducing your LDL cholesterol. Okay. The Western medicine basically says take a statin medication, any one of the brand names on the market, and there's multiple different formulations. And if you do that and you start at a small dosage and then you increase it over the course of time, your LDL cholesterol will come down. Truth be told, it works. But statin medications have a whole laundry list of side effects that come along with them, then you don't want to deal with those. Amla berries, on the other hand, are equally as powerful as statin medications, except they come from the natural world and they have 0 side effects. The only side effect, to my knowledge, is that it tastes really bad. Okay, that is, and I'm not joking when I say that. Amla berries taste like crap. They are very sour. And if you have tried Amla berries before, raw Amla berries or an Amla juice or an Amla powder or freeze-dried Amla berries or frozen Amla berries, and you've tried just the actual berry itself, let me know in the comments because I've tried pretty much all of those with the goal that I could actually palate it and I could actually put it down and I would actually enjoy the experience. But my God, is it hard to put down. Incredibly sour, incredibly just like it's one of those foods you put in your mouth and you make that face that you're just like, oh, I can't stomach this stuff. Like it's just too much. Right. So Joe says, yeah, he's tried them. They're sour. They're like, I think sour is an understatement. They're like intensely sour to the point where it's just like, it's not even fun to put it in. So what we did at Amla Green was we formulated them so that they actually taste good. And that was a fun process and it took a lot of time. And then since that time, we've actually made multiple different flavors. We have a regular flavor. We have an immunity flavor with elderberries. We have a hibiscus flavor with hibiscus. Then we have a pumpkin spice flavor with pumpkin spices. And so the beauty is that now it actually tastes good. And when you put it into your drink on a daily basis, whether it's tea or coffee, you can get an incredibly high dose of Amla berries that really have a powerful cardiovascular effect. Okay. So if you go to our website, we actually have a special for you guys today. And the special is what's called the Everyday Immunity Bundle. The Everyday Immunity Bundle, as you can see on your screen right here, gives you 3 different flavors of Amla Green. The first one is a 30-day supply of Amla Green Classic shown in green in the front. The second one is a 30-day supply of Amla Green Hibiscus shown in the red on the left. The third is a 30-day supply of Amla Green Elderberry, which is shown in purple on the right. In addition to that, you will also receive a Summertime Soup and Salad ebook. You will receive a Mighty Mocktail ebook, and you will receive an 8-minute immune boosting smoothie bowl ebook. Okay. So all 3 of those come along for the ride when you pick this up. Now, this is literally an offer that we're giving just today and today only. And I'm not trying to be salesy in any way, shape, or form. I just want to let you guys know about this. If you're interested, here's what I can give you. This Everyday Immunity Bundle normally costs $89.95. You can pick it up today for a $20 discount at $69.95. In addition to that, you can also, in the checkout process, opt in for another 90-day bottle for only $20. Normally that's at $59, and we're giving that to you for $20. So We're trying to give you as much savings as possible, and we would love for you to pick this up if you haven't already tried any of these flavors, or if you just need more in your pantry. Wendy says, I've been enjoying Amla Green for 1 month. I love it as a simple hot tea or in a smoothie. Great. I love that, Wendy. That's really good to hear. Miss Sunrise, can you ship to Canada? If yes, how much is shipping? The answer is absolutely we can ship to Canada. How much is shipping? I don't know the answer to that question. It depends on what you order. It depends on how much. So I can try and answer that question for you, but my gut is that it's probably going to be somewhere in the $7 to $10 range, but please don't quote me on that. Diane says, good afternoon, Cyrus from Socrates, New York, type 2. Love it. What's up, Diane? Good to see you here. Marilyn says, love both the tea and the coffee. Awesome. Well, Marilyn, the tea and the coffee love you. That's the most important thing. All right. So I want to tell you guys a story. There was a good friend of mine's dad had been living with high cholesterol, high LDL cholesterol for 12 years. So 2 years into the process, he goes to his doctor had been telling him to take a statin medication, and he was resisting wanting to take that statin medication for about 2 years. So finally, 2 years into the process, his LDL cholesterol hadn't changed. It was still pretty high. It was about 160. And he got frustrated. So he said, you know what? I'll start taking the statin medication. So he did. So he started taking statin medication, and it lowered his cholesterol just by a little bit, but his cholesterol was still elevated, so hovering at about the 130 mark. Okay. Now, just for reference, you want your LDL cholesterol to be less than 100 for sure, hopefully closer to even 70. That's how you can get the maximum benefit and lower your risk for cardiovascular disease the most. So he lowers his cholesterol from 160 to 130 using statin medication, but then didn't matter. He kept on taking it. He kept on taking it. He kept on taking it. He kept on taking it, and nothing changed. He was on statin medications for 10 years, a decade of statin medication. And he started to develop a little bit of side effects, right? His muscles were sore. He sort of felt nerve tingling, and he knew that these were side effects of the statin medication, and he just didn't want those anymore. So at a certain point, he figures out that Amla Green might be another alternative for him. So he says, you know what? What do I have to lose? Let me try this out. So he puts the statin medication on the side, and he starts taking Amla Green. He starts using it once a day in his as a tea, and he drinks a cup of tea, puts it away, drinks another cup of tea, keeps on going on, one more one. Now, eventually, 3 months down the road, he goes back to his doctor. His doctor checks his lipid profile. His doctor takes a look at his LDL cholesterol and goes, whoa, your LDL cholesterol is in the 90s for the first time in a decade. I guess the statin medication is finally working. And he looks at his doctor and he goes, Doc, I haven't been using statin medication for the last 3 months. I switched over and I started using a food. And the food is what dropped my cholesterol by more than 30 points to get me down south of 100. And the doctor goes, cool. Keep doing it. It's clearly working. So he walks away from that. He picks up the phone. He calls me and he was like, this is something I never thought that I would have this much of a cholesterol reduction. Thank you for giving me an alternative statin medication. I'm not going to use that stuff ever before. And I was mind blown when I heard this, because the guy had been using statin medication for 10 years with no change in his LDL cholesterol, 3 months of use of Amla Green, and all of a sudden his LDL cholesterol is now in the safe zone. And since that time, it's stayed below 100, and he is as happy as he can be. Okay. Marilyn says, started July 3rd, had blood work done 829, cholesterol down 70 points. My doctor ecstatic because I have always refused taking a statin. So Marilyn, you're in a very similar situation, right? You don't want to take a statin medication because of the side effects. And as a result of that, your cholesterol has dropped by 70 points using a food. I want to be very clear, and under no circumstances do I want any of my words to be mixed with me telling you not to take statin medication. I am not a doctor. I cannot tell you that, and I will not be. I want to be very clear about the fact that I'm proposing that you could use Amla Green as an alternative, but I definitely do want you to communicate with your doctor at all times. Okay. It's very powerful. Research has shown that it can lower your cholesterol. It can also lower your triglyceride values simultaneously. And the two of those are really good for you. Now, as if that wasn't good enough, okay, we have blood glucose reduction, cholesterol reduction, triglyceride reduction. We also have blood pressure reduction. Okay. So oftentimes people who have high cholesterol end up having high blood pressure because it's a side effect of the atherosclerosis process. So when your blood cholesterol goes up, then it hardens your artery walls. When the artery walls harden, then your blood pressure goes up. Before you know it, now you have two problems that are affecting your cardiovascular system. So what Amla berries do is they relax the condition of your blood vessels and they make them more flexible. And as a result of that, your cholesterol level comes down and your blood pressure comes down simultaneously. So you end up with what I refer to as the metabolic triple whammy: low blood glucose, low blood pressure, low blood cholesterol. Amla berries have been listed as the single most powerful cholesterol-reducing food ever discovered by human beings. I'll say that one more time. Amla berries are the single most powerful cholesterol-reducing food ever discovered by human beings. That right there speaks volumes, okay? If I had high cholesterol, there was no question that I would be using Amla Green on a daily basis. I use it anyway, and it helps me keep my lipid profile in check. No questions asked, okay? So there's a lot of benefit that you can gain by putting Amla into your diet on a daily basis. Robbie, I know, has told me that when he uses it, his blood glucose, his fasting blood glucose, is lower than it is when he doesn't, and it has allowed him to use less basal insulin or lantus insulin, which is very helpful for him because that keeps his total insulin daily dose nice and low. So there's a lot of benefits that come along for the ride, but I want to know, what questions do you guys have specifically about heart health and Amla berries? Okay, so feel free to write them into the chat box and let me know what you think. But also, I want to just reiterate here, if you want to take advantage of this, I highly recommend taking advantage of this because this is literally like a one-day offer, and we're just having sort of a flash sale today. Okay, again, the everyday immunity bundle is $20 off. You can get for $69 instead of $89, and it contains 3 bottles, as you can see on the screen there: the classic, the hibiscus, and the immunity, all 30 servings. So you get 90 days worth of Amla Green in your possession for only $69. In addition to that, we'll give you those 3 free PDF guides in the back. One of them is about summertime soups and salads. The other one's about the mighty mocktail. And then the other one gives you 8 immune boosting smoothie bowls. And then in addition to that, on checkout, you can also take advantage of another 90-day serving, another 90-day bottle of Amla Green for only $20, which is normally $59. So we're trying to give you as much savings as possible. And we hope you take advantage of the offer. Okay, here we go. The question comes from Lalitha. That's a great name. I love it, Lalitha. Okay, what dosage is recommended? So we recommend drinking the inside of the bottle. If you open the bottle, you'll find there's a little scooper on the inside. So we've already done the measuring for you. Just take the scooper, scoop it, fill 1 scoop, and then put it into a glass of tea. That's 1 glass of tea per day. That is the base level requirement. It's very easy to do. It tastes great, simple. So that's the dosage recommended. What many people have told us is that they take 2 glasses of tea, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. So they might take immunity in the morning and regular in the evening, or hibiscus in the morning and immunity in the evening. It doesn't matter. If you can get 2 glasses of tea into your body on a daily basis, then you're setting yourself up for even higher improvements in your cholesterol, your glucose, and your blood pressure. So 1 cup at the base requirement, 2 cups is even more ideal. Meg says, is there a product with Amla and no caffeine? The answer is absolutely. The only tea that we have that contains caffeine is the green classic version. So any bottle that is colored green contains caffeine. Okay. I lied. I'm going to go backwards. You can do a number of things. Number 1, there is a decaf version of the green bottle, and it's called Amla Green Decaf. You can see it on your screen right there. If you want the decaf version, go ahead and get that. Best, go back 1 page. On the main products page, you can also see that the red bottle, which is hibiscus, that is also caffeine free because it is 100% herbal. The purple bottle, which is the immunity blend that contains elderberry, is also caffeine free. And then the orange bottle on the bottom left, which is the pumpkin spice flavor, is also caffeine free. So there's only actually 1 bottle that contains caffeine, and that is the Amla Green Classic, which is right there. You can see the mouse hovering over it. Okay. Everything else is caffeine free. So if caffeine is something that you're trying to avoid, by all means, pick up any of those herbal counterparts. Okay. Miss Sunrise, does it expire? How much can I stock up? Here's the best part. We formulated this stuff so that it doesn't actually expire very quickly. There is a seal on the top of each bottle, which means that when you receive it in the mail, if you open the lid, you will see that it is 100% sealed. Keep it sealed until you want to open it up. So you get 3 bottles with the Amla Green Everyday Immunity Bundle. Open one of the bottles and use that bottle, okay? That bottle that is open, once you open it up, stick it in your fridge, it will be good for 1 year in your fridge. The other bottles that are not opened are good for 1 year on the countertop and then another year in your fridge. So the shelf life is approximately 2 years. So you got nothing to worry about. And I know you guys are going to plow through this stuff way faster than that. And that's what I recommend because, again, at 1 glass of tea per day or 2 glasses of tea per day, you go through this stuff in anywhere from 45 to 90 days. Okay. Marilyn says, I drink 20 ounces of coffee every morning, 2 scoops coffee measure. What is the equivalent in tea? Okay. Marilyn, I think I got something better for you. Bess, could you share your screen on the very left? There is an actual coffee bag. We just created a coffee version of Amla. It's called Amla Superfood Coffee. This is a brand new product that only came out about a month ago. So the Superfood Coffee, if you enjoy drinking coffee and you want that, then just get coffee that has Amla berries in it. That's what it is. It's literally the healthiest coffee that we could find. We actually had to make it because all the other coffees that we could find didn't have the metabolic power that we're describing here. So what we recommend is make 1 glass of coffee here or 2 glasses of coffee if that's what you want. This is caffeinated. And this right here is a way to get coffee plus Amla together. So if that helps you, Marilyn, then that's a simple way to get Amla berries into your mouth. Okay. Marilyn says, cool, I'm using the coffee Amla. Fantastic. So your question is, what's the equivalent in tea? And the answer is the equivalent in tea. 1 serving of coffee contains the same amount of Amla berries as 1 serving of tea. So whether you have 1 serving of coffee is 1 serving of tea, 2 servings of coffee is 2 servings of tea. It's pretty much the exact same thing. We formulated it that way so that the amount of active Amla berry ingredient inside of each serving is equivalent depending on, and it doesn't matter which product you get it from. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys got a little bit of insight here into why we recommend using Amla berries, not only for glucose reduction, but also specifically for cardiovascular health. There's a tremendous amount of metabolic power that these guys have in them. And it's something that you can hopefully see on your lab work as you continue to use this product on a daily basis. Consistency is the key when it comes to Amla berries. We've seen this over and over and over again. All the scientific studies demonstrate that when you use Amla berries on a daily basis, that's when you get the effect. So I would hope that you would start to incorporate it into your diet and be systematic about it rather than saying, oh, I took it on Tuesday and I forgot on Thursday and it was Saturday and who cares? Be as systematic as possible. And you can see the improvements. Hopefully you can feel it. And then you can also see it in your lab work the next time you get done. Okay. Lalitha says, I have an issue with my LDL. My doctor wants it lower than 70. I take no medication. Can Amla help me with this? The answer is yes. So the story that I was describing earlier from the gentleman whose LDL cholesterol went from 160 to 130 down to the 90s, he had the same issue, right? Which is that his LDL was higher than his doctor wanted it to be. Amla berries can help lower LDL cholesterol. I'm not saying that it will in every single person. I cannot make that statement because it is not true. I would love to say that it will lower your LDL cholesterol, and I do believe that it has a very strong chance of doing so. But I have to put the caveat that there's no miracle pills in the world of health, and that using Amla berries is definitely something that can lower your cholesterol, your LDL cholesterol specifically. I will say this, single most powerful cholesterol reducing food ever discovered by human beings. There's nothing else on this planet that can lower your cholesterol more than Amla berries. So it behooves you to try it if you do, especially if you don't want to take any statin medications. Okay. Evelyn says, my LDL is 128. Another doctor said use omega-3s. Omega-3s will not directly lower your LDL cholesterol. Okay. Omega-3s have a very indirect effect on lowering cholesterol, but it is not going to be pronounced. You can and certainly should be making sure that you're meeting your RDA for omega-3s, which comes from either 1 tablespoon of chia seeds or 1 tablespoon of flax seeds. That's it. That's all you need in order to make sure that you are getting enough omega-3s on a daily basis. But that by itself is probably not going to have a powerful LDL lowering effect. I strongly recommend using something like Amla berries because that's going to give you the kick that's actually going to drive your LDL cholesterol down. Meg, my Amla green is a bit lumpy. Still tastes good, but tough to measure. Can you get too much? Can you get too much? Can you get too much? I don't know what that means. Can you get too much? But tough to measure. So here's something that you can do. If it is getting a little bit lumpy, I wonder if it might not have been in the fridge. I'm just speculating. If you have a spice grinder, you can take the Amla that's getting a little lumpy, put it in your spice grinder, and just grind it up in a dry environment so it turns into a powder. Once it's in powder format, take it out, put it back in the bottle, and now it's ground up. Then you can use that and it'll be a little bit easier for you to measure. So let me know if that's helpful to you, and I hope that that does help. Okay, does a scoop alter the taste in a regular cup of brewed coffee? The answer is no. It actually, I lied. It can. Some people say they taste it. Some people say they don't taste it. But we have many people who are drinking coffee and add a scoop of the Amla tea into their coffee, and they enjoy the experience. So try it out by all means and see if it does affect the taste. I think it could probably only improve the taste. I myself am not a coffee drinker, but I have heard from people that they enjoy the experience. So it's definitely worth trying. And then Christy says, I just ordered the bundle. I'm excited about the cookbooks. I love it. Well, I'm excited that you're excited. This is great. All right, guys, I have to go right now because I have to hop onto another meeting. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. And if you want to take advantage of that bundle one more time, we're saving $20 off the top. And then you have an option to save another $39 at checkout on another 90 serving bottle. So we're trying to give you as much of an option, as much of a deal as possible. And we hope you take us up on it. So I love you guys. Have a great day and keep it fresh.